China's on a buying spree, and China's buying up taxpayer-backed American companies with critical technology and ties to national security, and they've gone, well, most of them belly up. Here are a few of the Chinese pick-me-ups that have taxpayer-funded advanced technology that the Chinese will be picking up for, let's say, a bargain basement price. Well, let's start with Fisker Automotive. Fisker Automotive received a nearly $530 million. I'll call it, I'll call it an Obama loan, shall we? $530 million taxpayer money in 2009 to build so-called green vehicles. By the way, the company said they didn't really need the money, but here it is 4 years later, and the struggling car maker now weighing bids from two Chinese companies that want to buy a majority stake in Fisker. Well, they don't need it all. They just need the technology. You know, why spend all that money? It means our tax dollars will end up boosting the Chinese economy, certainly. But it is certainly not the first time either. You remember the battery company, A123 Systems? That is one of the lousiest trade styles, business names I've ever heard. A lousy name and a lousy fate. Back in 2009, it received a nearly $250 million taxpayer loan from the Department of Energy, a grant to build lithium-ion batteries. We're having lots of fun with those, aren't we? In October of last year, it filed for bankruptcy. Last month, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, or as it's known, CFIUS, gave China's largest auto parts maker approval to buy A123, and with it, all of the technology, all of that taxpayer money. And by the way, did I mention CFIUS is just made up of representatives of the Obama administration? It rubber stamps a policy, and that's what it's been doing. It doesn't appear, by the way, China's going to slow down. According to Deal Logic, Chinese buyers last year spent a record, it was more than $10 billion last year. $10 billion on 46 deals to buy American companies or buy stakes in them. That topped the previous record of nearly $9 billion that had been set back in 2007. So what is the Obama administration doing? Well, of course, there's supposed to be safeguards. CFIUS, for example, the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. However, as it's made up of all those administration officials who rubber stamp everything, there's not much that can be done. And earlier this month, they rubber stamped a $15 billion deal, and I love it, for that portion of the Canadian company that, well, owns the rights to drill in the Gulf of Mexico, CNOOC, the Chinese oil company buying the Canadian oil and gas company. They simply took it all. And the deal required approval because Nixon has those significant assets, but it was only a pro forma matter. You know what's more embarrassing is that the Obama administration just keeps spending millions upon millions of dollars on green energy companies like these that have gone belly up and those on the verge of it. Solyndra, $500 million. Beacon Power here, $43 million. Interone, $119 million. All these companies, the Chinese don't want them even. That's kind of insulting, isn't it? To top it off, you know, everybody talks about free trade. But you notice Americans aren't going in and buying companies in China because they can't. They practically and effectively can invest in minority levels in Chinese companies. They can become a minority partner. And unlike American regulators, the Chinese aren't shy about saying no.